The year is 44 BC. The date is March 15th. Julius Caesar, Rome's most powerful and popular man, was unaware that he had left his home for the last time this morning. His friends had warned him. Dreams, prophecies, even the gods were believed to have tried to hinder him. But he walked confidently towards his destiny. This wasn't just an assassination, it would be the end of the Roman Republic. Caesar was born in 100 BC into the Julii family, a noble family that claimed descent from the goddess Venus. Despite his noble lineage, his family was not particularly wealthy or powerful at the time. Caesar faced danger at an early age. During Sulla's dictatorship, many of his allies were killed. Ordered to divorce his wife Cornelia, Caesar refused, a decision that would define his life. He fled Rome and lived in exile until Sulla's death. There's even a famous story. Caesar was captured by pirates while traveling in the Mediterranean. Instead of being afraid, he smiled at the pirates, demanded a ransom, and later returned with a fleet to crucify his captors and exact his revenge. Caesar built his career through military service. He served in Asia Minor, won the civic crown for bravery, and quickly rose through the political ranks back in Rome. But Caesar was more than just a soldier. He was an orator, a writer, and a master of Roman politics. He formed crucial alliances, gaining popularity with the common people, the populares. It all began with Caesar's military genius. As a young general, he fought countless wars to secure Rome. By the late 60s BC, Rome was destabilized, divided between powerful forces and corrupt politics. Caesar made a pact that would reshape Rome, the first triumvirate. This alliance brought together Rome's most famous general, Pompey the Great, Rome's richest man, Crassus, and Caesar, the ambitious rising star. Together, they controlled Rome. With their support, Caesar seized command in Gaul, ushering in the most famous period of his life. For nearly a decade, Caesar fought in Gaul, expanding Roman territory and power. He defeated tribes, built bridges across the Rhine, and even invaded Britain. Caesar recorded these campaigns in his commentaries on the Gallic War. Written in clear and powerful Latin, one of his most famous lines dates from this period: Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. His legions were unwaveringly loyal to him. He was considered a great hero, not only on the battlefield, but also among Rome's poor. This distinction distinguished him from Rome's traditional power, the Senate. As Caesar gained fame abroad, his enemies within Rome grew restless. Pompey sided with the Senate and distanced himself. The triumvirate collapsed. The Senate viewed Caesar's rise as a threat, accusing him of monopolizing Roman power. In 49 BC, the Senate, led by Pompey, ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. But Caesar had a choice: obey and lose everything, or defy the Senate and risk civil war. On the banks of the Rubicon River, Caesar made his decision. He crossed the Rubicon River and marched on Rome. This event went down in history as the saying, Alea iacta est, the die was cast, meaning point of no return. Caesar took swift action. Pompey fled to Greece, but was defeated at the Battle of Pharsalus. Pompey was killed when he sought refuge in Egypt, leaving Caesar as the most powerful man in Rome. In Egypt, Caesar allied with Cleopatra VII, helping him secure the throne. From this relationship, They had a son, Caesarion. On his return to Rome, Caesar was appointed dictator for life. He reformed the calendar, reorganized the Senate, and initiated massive building projects. To many, he was a visionary leader, to others, a dangerous tyrant. Caesar had considered staying home that morning because of his wife Calpurnia's bad dreams. On the way, a prophet had even warned him, "Beware of the Ides of March." But Caesar ignored all warnings and set off for Pompey's theater, where the Senate was meeting. In the Senate, Caesar was surrounded by enemies who appeared to be friends. Chief among these was Caesar's old friend and ally, Marcus Junius Brutus. Brutus was a staunch supporter of Caesar, but also an idealist devoted to the Republic. Caesar's title of eternal dictator clashed with Brutus's ideals. Rather than share in Caesar's power, the other senators planned to eliminate him. The conspiracy had been hatched weeks in advance. Approximately 60 senators conspired to kill Caesar. The plan was simple. Caesar would be stabbed during the Senate. But this assassination would not be merely murder. It would be an event that would change the future of Rome. When Caesar entered, the senators rose to their feet. But this wasn't a gesture of respect, but a gesture. A senator named Julius Caesar presented Caesar with a petition. At that moment, the other conspirators surrounded Caesar. Publius Servilius Casca struck the first blow. Caesar looked around in surprise and saw his friends approaching with their knives. As he was struck repeatedly, he saw Brutus with his last breath. Legend has it that upon encountering his dagger, his last words were in Latin, "Et tu, Brute," and you, Brutus. This phrase, perhaps just a legend, perfectly summed up Caesar's betrayal. Caesar was stabbed 23 times and died at the foot of Pompey's statue. This wasn't the end of the story. The assassins thought they would save the Republic by killing Caesar, but the opposite happened. The Roman people viewed the assassination as murder. Caesar's body was publicly burned, sparking an uprising. The assassination, ironically, marked the end of the Republic. Rome was plunged into chaos. The people were outraged by Caesar's death, and Brutus and the other assassins were forced to flee the city. Caesar died, but his legacy transformed Rome. His death brought about the end of the Roman Republic. His nephew and adopted son Octavian, later Augustus, ascended to the throne as Rome's first emperor. Caesar's reforms, army, and vision laid the foundations that transformed Rome into an empire. Caesar's assassination was not merely the assassination of a tyrant. It was Rome's greatest transformation. Julius Caesar was dead, but the chaos he left behind would bring about the end of the Republic and pave the way for an empire. Julius Caesar's life was a story filled with ambition, genius, and tragedy. From a young exile, he rose to become the most powerful man in Rome. He reshaped history, but his lust for power ended in betrayal. So, in your opinion, was Caesar a hero or a dictator? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to continue delving into Roman history, you can subscribe to my channel. See you in the next adventure.